Question 1. Claims investigation and evaluation. When investigating a property damage claim, an adjuster finds that the claimant's property shows signs of prior damage that were not reported during the initial filing. After conducting interviews and gathering statements, it becomes clear that the claimant did not disclose this pre-existing damage. What is the most appropriate next step for the claims adjuster? A. The adjuster should deny the claim immediately and inform the claimant about the misrepresentation. B. The adjuster should contact the insurer and report the claimant's omission, but proceed with the claim investigation as usual. C. The adjuster should continue with the investigation and consider the pre-existing damage in the evaluation, but report the omission to the insurer later. D. The adjuster should consult legal counsel before proceeding with the claim, considering the potential for fraud. Answer. D. The adjuster should consult legal counsel before proceeding with the claim, considering the potential for fraud. Explanation. According to Hawaii insurance law, an adjuster is obligated to handle claims honestly and transparently. If pre-existing damage is discovered that was not disclosed during the initial claim, this may constitute a misrepresentation or even fraud. The appropriate course of action would involve consulting legal counsel to determine the best steps to take, which could include denying the claim or further investigation for potential fraudulent activity. Misrepresentation can lead to the denial of a claim or even penalties, and failing to report it could violate ethical guidelines. Question 2. Hawaii-specific claims adjuster knowledge. Mr. Teshima is filing a claim for damages caused by a hurricane to his commercial property in Hawaii. The policy has a named peril provision that covers windstorm damage but excludes flood damage. The floodwaters caused significant additional damage to his property, but Mr. Teshima claims that the wind caused the flooding. How should the adjuster evaluate this claim? The adjuster should accept the claim and provide coverage for all the damages, as both wind and flood are common in hurricane situations. B. The adjuster should reject the flood damage portion of the claim, as the policy excludes flood coverage and only cover the windstorm damage. C. The adjuster should investigate the cause of the flood damage further to determine if it can be linked to windstorm damage, as the policy may still provide coverage under certain circumstances. D. The adjuster should recommend that Mr. Teshima file a claim with his flood insurance provider, as windstorm damage is not relevant in this case. Answer. C. The adjuster should investigate the cause of the flood damage further to determine if it can be linked to windstorm damage, as the policy may still provide coverage under certain circumstances. Explanation. In Hawaii, where hurricane and storm damage is frequent, claims involving named perils policies often present complicated issues. While flood damage is explicitly excluded, it is crucial to investigate if the windstorm caused the flooding in a way that might make it a covered event. This investigation will help determine if the flood damage can be attributed to the windstorm as an indirect effect, which could result in partial coverage under certain circumstances. If the flood damage cannot be linked to the windstorm, the exclusion for flood damage will likely apply, and the claim for that part will be denied. Question 3. Adjusting property claims scenario-based question. MS. Carter is filing a homeowner's insurance claim, and after fire damages her kitchen. The policy provides replacement cost coverage for the dwelling and personal property, but the adjuster notices that the kitchen's appliances are 15 years old and have already depreciated significantly. MS. Carter asks the adjuster if she will be reimbursed for the full cost of new appliances. What should the adjuster explain to MS? Carter regarding her claim. A. The adjuster will reimburse her for the full replacement cost of the appliances, regardless of their age. B. The adjuster will reimburse her based on the actual cash value (SCV) of the appliances, factoring in depreciation. C. The adjuster will reimburse her for the replacement cost, but only after accounting for depreciation on the appliances. D. The adjuster will only reimburse her for the cost of repairs to the kitchen and not for replacing the appliances. Answer. B. The adjuster will reimburse her based on the actual cash value (SCV) of the appliances, factoring in depreciation. Explanation. Under standard property insurance policies, the reimbursement for personal property like appliances is typically based on actual cash value (SCV), which accounts for depreciation. Since MS. Carter's appliances are 15 years old, the adjuster would factor in depreciation to determine the SCV. This is the amount the insurer would reimburse her, not the full replacement cost, which is often reserved for newer items or those explicitly covered under a replacement cost provision. If the policy had replacement cost coverage for the personal property, the reimbursement would be for the cost of replacing the appliances with new ones, but based on the question, it appears that a CV method applies here. Question 4. Claim settlement. MS. Kawamoto's home was damaged due to a fire, and she is now negotiating her claim settlement with the insurer. After reviewing the estimates and her damages, the insurer offers a settlement amount that MS. Kawamoto believes is too low. She insists that she deserves a higher payout, but the insurer is unwilling to increase the offer. What course of action should the claims adjuster recommend to MS? Kawamoto 8 MS. Kawamoto should accept the insurer's offer as it is the final settlement amount. BMS. Kawamoto should proceed with litigation and file a lawsuit against the insurer for breach of contract. CMS. Kawamoto should explore arbitration or mediation as an alternative method of dispute resolution. DMS. Kawamoto should file a complaint with the Hawaii Department of Insurance for unfair settlement practices. Answer. CMS. Kawamoto should explore arbitration or mediation as an alternative method of dispute resolution. Explanation. In Hawaii, as in most states, alternative dispute resolution methods like arbitration or mediation are often used to resolve disagreements over insurance settlements. These methods are typically faster and less expensive than litigation. If MS. Kawamoto feels that the settlement offer is insufficient, she can explore these options with the adjuster, which might lead to a more favorable outcome without resorting to a costly lawsuit. Legal action. Option B should be considered a last resort after all other DR methods have been exhausted. Question 5. Just in casualty claims. An auto insurer receives a claim from Mr. Diaz for a collision involving his vehicle which was hit by a driver who ran a red light. The insurer investigates and determines that the other driver was at fault. However, Mr. Diaz's vehicle has extensive damage and his medical bills from the accident are significant. What should the claims adjuster do to evaluate Mr. Diaz's bodily injury claim? A. The adjuster should settle Mr. Diaz's bodily injury claim immediately since the other driver is at fault. B. The adjuster should request medical records and bills to ensure the injuries are legitimate before evaluating the claim. C. The adjuster should deny Mr. Diaz's bodily injury claim due to the severity of the damage to his vehicle, which suggests exaggeration. D. The adjuster should only focus on the vehicle damage and ignore the bodily injury claim since the vehicle is the primary concern. Answer. B. The adjuster should request medical records and bills to ensure the injuries are legitimate before evaluating the claim. Explanation. In bodily injury claims, the adjuster must ensure the injuries are legitimate and properly documented. This includes obtaining medical records and bills from Mr. Diaz's healthcare providers. Even though the other driver was at fault, the insurer must follow the claims process and evaluate all aspects of the bodily injury claim, including the extent of medical treatment, the nature of the injuries, and any long-term impact. The adjuster should never assume the injuries are legitimate without proper verification and denial of. A legitimate claim based on vehicle damage alone, option C, would not be justified. Question 6. Hawaii insurance laws and regulations. A claims adjuster working in Hawaii is reviewing a claim involving a worker injured on the job. The worker's injury is significant and the claim is being processed under Hawaii's workers' compensation laws. The adjuster notices that the worker's employer has not submitted the required forms within the statutory deadline. What is the most appropriate course of action for the claims adjuster? A. The claims adjuster should immediately report the employer to the Hawaii Department of Labor and Industrial Relations for non-compliance. B. The claims adjuster should process the claim but only reimburse the worker for the medical expenses, excluding wage replacement benefits. C. The claims adjuster should remind the employer about the statutory deadline and request that the forms be submitted immediately. D. The claims adjuster should suspend processing the claim until the employer complies with the statutory deadline. Answer. C. The claims adjuster should remind the employer about the statutory deadline and request that the forms be submitted immediately. Explanation. Under Hawaii workers' compensation law, employers are required to submit necessary forms to the appropriate authorities in a timely manner. However, it is the claims adjuster's responsibility to ensure the claim is processed correctly, regardless of the employer's compliance. The adjuster should contact the employer to remind them of their statutory obligations and request that the forms be submitted promptly. If the employer fails to comply after a reminder, further steps may be taken, but suspending or denying the claim, option D, would not be appropriate without first attempting to resolve the issue. Question 7. Claims adjusting and risk management. A commercial insurance policy for a hotel includes liability coverage for injuries sustained on the premises. A guest slips and falls in the lobby, resulting in significant injuries. The hotel's insurance policy has an exclusion for injuries caused by negligent maintenance. The claims adjuster determines that the hotel failed to maintain proper floor safety. What is the most appropriate way for the adjuster to handle this claim? A. The adjuster should deny the claim immediately due to the maintenance exclusion in the policy. B. The adjuster should accept the claim as the hotel is generally responsible for maintaining the premises. C. The adjuster should investigate further to determine if the negligence directly led to the injury, as the exclusion might not apply. D. The adjuster should only settle the claim if the hotel agrees to make improvements to their maintenance practices. Answer C. The adjuster should investigate further to determine if the negligence directly led to the injury, as the exclusion might not apply. Explanation. While the hotel's policy includes an exclusion for negligence in maintenance, the adjuster must first investigate the circumstances surrounding the fall to ensure that the negligence was a direct cause of the injury. If the hotel's failure to maintain the premises was the proximate cause of the injury, the exclusion will likely apply. However, the adjuster must investigate thoroughly before making a final determination. A blanket denial, option A, without full investigation could lead to improper claims handling, while settling the claim without verifying the circumstances, option B, would be inappropriate. Question 8. Types of insurance policies. Mr. and Mrs. Wright have a homeowner's insurance policy with liability coverage for injuries that occur on their property. A visitor, Mr. Hill, is injured on the Wrights' property while using their pool. Mr. Hill files a liability claim against the Wrights. What should the claims adjuster review first when evaluating the claim? A. The adjuster should first review whether the Wrights have personal liability coverage for pool-related injuries. B. The adjuster should check if the Wrights have a pool endorsement in their policy to determine the extent of their coverage. C. The adjuster should assess the severity of Mr. Hill's injuries and determine the amount of medical expenses incurred. D. The adjuster should immediately deny the claim, as pool-related injuries are generally excluded from standard homeowners policies. Answer. B. The adjuster should check if the Wrights have a pool endorsement in their policy to determine the extent of their coverage. Explanation. Pool-related injuries are often subject to special exclusions or endorsements in homeowners insurance policies. The adjuster must first verify if the Wrights policy includes a pool endorsement, which may extend liability coverage to pool-related injuries. Without such an endorsement, the injury may be excluded from coverage. The severity of Mr. Hill's injuries, option C, and the general liability coverage, option A, are important considerations, but the presence of a pool endorsement is the most crucial factor in determining coverage. Denying the claim, option D, without reviewing the endorsement could lead to improper handling of the claim. Question 9. Claims investigation and evaluation. A claims adjuster is investigating a business interruption claim for a local bakery that was forced to shut down for several weeks due to a fire. The bakery provides documentation of lost revenue and ongoing operational expenses. What is the primary factor the adjuster should consider when evaluating the business interruption claim? A. The adjuster should verify the cause of the fire to ensure it falls under the policy's covered perils. B. The adjuster should assess the bakery's financial records to determine if the revenue loss is legitimate and the expenses are reasonable. C. The adjuster should only focus on the repair costs for the bakery and disregard the loss of income. D. The adjuster should calculate the amount of business interruption based on the total amount of claims filed by similar businesses. Answer. B. The adjuster should assess the bakery's financial records to determine if the revenue loss is legitimate and the expenses are reasonable. Explanation. For business interruption claims, it is crucial to evaluate the bakery's financial records to confirm the revenue loss and the ongoing expenses are legitimate and reasonable. The adjuster must establish that the losses align with the coverage terms in the policy. This may involve reviewing past financial statements, tax returns, and other documentation to substantiate the claim. Verifying the cause of the fire, option A, is also important, but the primary focus should be on assessing the loss of income and business expenses. Simply relying on industry averages, option D, is not appropriate. Question 10. Insurance adjuster technology and tools. An adjuster is tasked with evaluating the damage to a residential property that has been severely affected by a storm. The adjuster uses an estimation tool to determine the repair costs. What is the primary benefit of using digital estimation tools like Xactimate or Symbility for property damage claims? The tools automatically generate the claim settlement without any further review. B. The tools help ensure accurate, consistent, and standardized estimates for repairs across similar claims. C. The tools are only useful for estimating large, complex claims and are not effective for smaller claims. D. The tools eliminate the need for physical inspections by the adjuster as they provide a complete and accurate damage assessment. Answer: B. The tools help ensure accurate, consistent, and standardized estimates for repairs across similar claims. Explanation: digital estimation tools like Xactimate and Symbility are widely used in the insurance industry because they help claims adjusters create accurate, consistent, and standardized estimates for property repairs. These tools are based on comprehensive databases of materials, labor costs, and industry standards, making the estimation process more reliable and efficient. While the tools provide valuable support for adjusters, they do not automatically generate claim settlements without review, option A, or eliminate the need for physical inspections, option D. They are also applicable to both large and small claims, option C, ensuring consistency across all types of claims. Question 11. Hawaii insurance laws and regulations. In Hawaii, the law requires insurance companies to provide written notice to the policyholder in the event of a claim denial. What is the maximum time frame within which this notice must be sent? A. 15 days. B. 30 days. C. 45 days. D. 60 days. Answer: B. 30 days. Explanation: according to Hawaii's insurance regulations, insurance companies are required to notify policyholders in writing when a claim is denied, and they must do so within 30 days of the denial decision. This requirement is part of the state's efforts to ensure transparency and timely communication between insurers and policyholders. Failing to meet this time frame may result in penalties or legal action against the insurer. Question 12. Types of insurance policies. Which of the following is true regarding exclusions in a typical homeowner's insurance policy? A. All exclusions are covered under additional endorsements. B. Flood damage is typically excluded from standard homeowners insurance policies. C. Fire damage is not covered in most homeowners insurance policies. D. Earthquake damage is always included in standard policies. Answer: B. Flood damage is typically excluded from standard homeowners insurance policies. Explanation: homeowners insurance policies typically exclude certain types of damages, and flood damage is one of the most common exclusions. Floods require separate flood insurance, usually under the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP). Fire damage, on the other hand, is typically covered under standard homeowners insurance, and earthquake coverage is available as an optional endorsement, not automatically included. Question 13. Claims investigation and evaluation. An adjuster is investigating a claim where the insured's property was damaged during a severe hurricane. The insured claims that the damage occurred during the storm, but the adjuster suspects that the damage may have been caused by a prior event. What should the adjuster do to verify the cause of loss? A. Reject the claim immediately as there is a suspicion of fraud. B. Collect evidence, interview witnesses, and consult weather reports to verify the cause of loss. C. Only rely on the insured's statement about the cause of loss, as they are the claimant. D. Settle the claim for a partial payment, assuming the damage is likely related to the storm. Answer: B. Collect evidence, interview witnesses, and consult weather reports to verify the cause of loss. Explanation: when investigating a claim, the adjuster must ensure they gather all relevant evidence, including weather reports, witness statements, and physical inspection of the property, to determine the actual cause of loss. An adjuster should not make assumptions based on suspicion, option A, and must avoid accepting the claimant's statement without proper verification, option C. Partial settlement without confirming the cause, option D, could lead to improper claims handling and potential issues for the insurer. Question 14. Adjusting property claims. Which of the following is an important distinction between actual cash value, ACV, and replacement cost coverage? A. ACV coverage factors in depreciation, while replacement cost provides for the full cost of replacing the damaged property without considering depreciation. B. ACV is more expensive than replacement cost coverage. C. Replacement cost is typically used for business interruption claims, while ACV is used for property damage. D. ACV covers the market value of the property at the time of the loss, while replacement cost covers the depreciated value. Answer A. ACV coverage factors in depreciation, while replacement cost provides for the full cost of replacing the damaged property without considering depreciation. Explanation: The key difference between actual cash value, a CV, and replacement cost coverage is that a CV considers depreciation, meaning it pays out the market value of the damaged property at the time of the loss. In contrast, replacement cost provides the funds necessary to replace the property with a new equivalent without factoring in depreciation. This distinction can affect the payout significantly, especially for older property. Question 15. Claim settlement. An adjuster is negotiating a settlement with a claimant who has suffered significant damage to their business property following a storm. The business owner requests a full settlement that includes both property damage and lost income. Which of the following should the adjuster do next? They agree to the full settlement as requested by the claimant, as business interruption is usually covered. B. Assess whether business interruption insurance is part of the policy and calculate the loss of income based on the policy terms. C. Deny the claim entirely, as business interruption is not typically covered by property policies. D. Make a partial settlement for the property damage and delay discussion about lost income. Answer. B. Assess whether business interruption insurance is part of the policy and calculate the loss of income based on the policy terms. Explanation. The adjuster must first verify if the policy includes coverage for business interruption, which may be a separate coverage or endorsement. If the coverage is included, the adjuster needs to assess the loss of income according to the terms of the policy. It is important to carefully review policy provisions before agreeing to any settlement amount. Option A, and the adjuster should not deny or delay settlement without conducting a thorough evaluation. Question 16. Claims adjuster ethics and professionalism. An adjuster receives a settlement offer from a claimant that seems unusually high given the extent of the damages. The claimant insists that the offer is fair, but the adjuster suspects the claimant may be inflating the damages. What is the most ethical course of action for the adjuster? A. Approve the settlement offer without further review, as the claimant is the party requesting the settlement. B. Reject the offer and request further documentation and evidence to support the claim. C. Accept the offer and move forward with the payment, as it is the claimant's right to settle as they see fit. D. Agree to the offer with a minor reduction in the amount to avoid further dispute. Answer. B. Reject the offer and request further documentation and evidence to support the claim. Explanation. Ethical conduct requires adjusters to ensure that claims are not inflated and are based on accurate information. If the adjuster suspects that the damages may have been exaggerated, they should request additional documentation, such as repair estimates or expert opinions, to verify the accuracy of the claim. Accepting a settlement without proper verification would be unethical and could expose the insurer to unnecessary financial risk. Question 17. Dispute resolution and litigation. If an insurer and a claimant are unable to agree on the value of a claim and the dispute cannot be resolved through negotiation, what alternative dispute resolution method is commonly used in insurance claims? A. Arbitration. B. Litigation. C. Mediation. D. Negotiation. Answer. A. Arbitration. Explanation. Arbitration is a common method of alternative dispute resolution, used when negotiation and mediation do not lead to a resolution. In arbitration, a neutral third party reviews the case and makes a binding decision, while litigation, option B, may be a last resort. Arbitration is often preferred because it is typically faster and less expensive. Mediation, option C, involves a mediator helping both parties come to a mutual agreement, but it is not binding unless both parties agree. Question 18. Insurance claims for unique coverage types. Which of the following is typically covered under marine insurance, but NOT under standard homeowners insurance? A. Fire damage to the boat. B. Theft of person or property on the insured's property. C. Loss of goods during transportation on a cargo vessel. D. Damage to a home caused by a lightning strike. Answer. C. Loss of goods during transportation on a cargo vessel. Explanation. Marine insurance typically covers the loss of goods or cargo during transportation, including while on a cargo vessel. This is a specialized coverage designed for goods in transit, which is not typically included in standard homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance may cover fire, theft, and lightning strikes, but it does not cover loss of goods during transportation. Question 19. Claims investigation and evaluation. An adjuster is investigating a medical malpractice claim and is gathering evidence to determine liability. Which of the following is the primary source of evidence for establishing negligence in a medical malpractice case? A. Statements from the healthcare provider and the patient's family members. B. Medical records, expert testimony, and treatment guidelines. C. Surveillance footage of the hospital environment. D. Signed statements from witnesses who were not involved in the treatment process. Answer: B. Medical records, expert testimony, and treatment guidelines. Explanation: in medical malpractice cases, the primary evidence to establish negligence is typically found in medical records, expert testimony, and treatment guidelines. These sources help to determine whether the healthcare provider's actions met the standard of care and whether any deviation from that standard led to harm. Statements from family members or unrelated witnesses may provide additional context, but they are not as directly relevant proving negligence. Question 20. Hawaii-specific claims adjuster knowledge in Hawaii. Which of the following is a specific consideration for claims related to windstorm damage? A. Windstorm damage is always excluded in all property insurance policies in Hawaii. B. Windstorm claims may require separate coverage depending on the policy. C. Windstorm damage is only covered if the damage occurs between the months of June and November. D. Windstorm claims are excluded unless the damage is caused by a hurricane. Answer: B. Windstorm claims may require separate coverage depending on the policy. Explanation: in Hawaii, windstorm damage is not automatically covered under standard homeowners or property insurance policies. Many policies require separate windstorm coverage or endorsements, especially due to the frequency of hurricanes and tropical storms in the region. The need for additional coverage is to ensure that homeowners are adequately protected against the specific risks posed by strong winds and storm-related damage. Therefore, it is important for both policyholders and adjusters to check whether windstorm coverage is included or if it needs to be added separately. Question 21. Claims investigation and evaluation. An adjuster is investigating a property claim where the homeowner reports damage from a fire. The adjuster finds inconsistencies between the homeowner's statement and the fire department's report. What is the next appropriate step in the investigation? A. Immediately deny the claim due to inconsistencies. B. Ignore the discrepancies if they seem minor. C. Continue gathering more evidence and conduct further interviews to clarify the inconsistencies. D. Settle the claim based on the homeowner's report, assuming it is correct. Answer: C. Continue gathering more evidence and conduct further interviews to clarify the inconsistencies. Explanation: inconsistencies between a claimant's statement and official reports must be carefully investigated. An adjuster should continue to gather evidence, interview relevant parties, such as fire department personnel, neighbors, or contractors, and possibly consult experts if needed. Investigating these discrepancies thoroughly ensures the integrity of the claims process and the accuracy of the final determination. Question 22. Types of insurance policies. Which of the following best describes the difference between actual cash value (ACV) and replacement cost in property insurance claims? A. ACV includes the depreciation of the item, while replacement cost provides reimbursement without considering depreciation. B. ACV does not cover the cost of repairs, while replacement cost fully reimburses repair expenses. C. ACV and replacement cost are the same and are used interchangeably in claims. D. ACV is based on market value, and replacement cost uses the original purchase price of the damaged property. Answer: A. ACV includes the depreciation of the item, while replacement cost provides reimbursement without considering depreciation. Explanation: the primary distinction between ACV and replacement cost is that ACV accounts for depreciation, reflecting the reduced value of an item over time, while replacement cost reimburses the cost of replacing the item with a new one of similar kind and quality, regardless of depreciation. This impacts the payout in property damage claims, as ACV results in a low payout due to depreciation. Question 23. Hawaii insurance laws and regulations. Which of the following is true regarding Hawaii's insurance fraud detection requirements? A. Hawaii requires insurers to report all suspected fraudulent claims within 30 days of identification. B. Insurers are not required to investigate fraudulent claims if the claimant has a history of filing claims. C. Hawaii law mandates that adjusters must immediately settle claims if fraud is suspected. D. Hawaii does not have specific fraud detection laws, it follows general U.S. federal guidelines. Answer: A. Hawaii requires insurers to report all suspected fraudulent claims within 30 days of identification. Explanation: Hawaii has specific fraud detection requirements under its insurance laws. Insurers are obligated to report any suspected fraudulent activity to the state insurance department within 30 days. This regulation helps maintain integrity in the claims process and ensures that fraud is detected and addressed promptly. Question 24. Adjusting property claims. A homeowner's insurance policy covers both the dwelling and personal property, but the claim only involves damage to personal property from a flood. How should the adjuster proceed in this case? A. Deny the claim, as flood damage is always excluded in personal property coverage. B. Determine if the homeowner has separate flood insurance coverage for the personal property. C. Reimburse the homeowner for the damage regardless of the exclusions in the policy. D. Apply the deductible only to the dwelling portion of the claim. Answer. B. Determine if the homeowner has separate flood insurance coverage for the personal property. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance typically excludes flood damage. In this scenario, the adjuster should verify if the homeowner has a separate flood insurance policy, which is necessary for coverage related to flood damage. The National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP) often covers such claims. The adjuster should review the policy and determine the extent of coverage, if any, for personal property damaged by flood. Question 25. Claims settlement. When negotiating a settlement for a casualty claim involving bodily injury, which of the following is the most significant factor in determining the settlement amount? A. The claimant's emotional distress caused by the accident. B. The total medical expenses incurred by the claimant. C. The amount of coverage provided under the policy for personal injury. D. The time it took for the claimant to file the claim. Answer. B. The total medical expenses incurred by the claimant. Explanation. In bodily injury claims, the total medical expenses incurred by the claimant is a critical factor in determining the settlement amount. The adjuster considers the cost of medical treatment, rehabilitation, lost wages, and any long-term disability to determine the appropriate compensation. Emotional distress and other factors may also be considered, but the medical expenses are typically the most quantifiable and significant component in settlement negotiations. Question 26. Claims adjuster ethics and professionalism. An adjuster discovers that a claimant is exaggerating the extent of damage in a property claim. What should the adjuster do? A. Proceed with the claim as if no issues exist. B. Ignore the exaggeration as it may not affect the outcome of the claim. C. Report the exaggeration to the insurer and possibly initiate a fraud investigation. D. Contact the claimant to remind them to be more realistic in their claim. Answer. C. Report the exaggeration to the insurer and possibly initiate a fraud investigation. Explanation. Ethical standards require adjusters to act impartially and report any signs of fraud or misrepresentation. If the adjuster suspects that the claimant is exaggerating damage, they must report it to the insurer and take steps to investigate further. Misrepresentation of damages is considered fraud and could have serious legal consequences for the claimant. Question 27. Dispute resolution and litigation. Which of the following is a key advantage of using arbitration over litigation in insurance claims disputes? A. Arbitration is usually quicker and less formal than litigation. B. Arbitration involves a jury of peers to decide the outcome. C. Arbitration is only available for claims involving bodily injury. D. Arbitration allows the insurer to dictate the terms of settlement. Answer. A. Arbitration is usually quicker and less formal than litigation. Explanation. Arbitration is a form of alternative dispute resolution that is typically faster and less formal than court litigation. It allows both parties to present their case before a neutral arbitrator and the decision is legally binding. It avoids the lengthy process of court trials and can be more cost-effective, making it a popular choice for resolving insurance claims disputes. Question 20. Hawaii-specific claims adjuster knowledge. Which of the following is a unique feature of Hawaii's workers' compensation system? A. Hawaii requires workers' compensation insurance for all businesses, regardless of size. B. Hawaii's workers' compensation system only covers permanent disabilities, not temporary ones. C. Hawaii mandates that workers' compensation claims be resolved within 60 days of filing. D. Hawaii workers' compensation benefits are paid as a lump sum with no periodic payments. Answer. Hey, Hawaii requires workers' compensation insurance for all businesses, regardless of size. Explanation. Hawaii law requires all employers, regardless of size, to carry workers' compensation insurance for their employees. This is a key feature of the state's workers' compensation system, ensuring that employees who suffer work-related injuries or illnesses are compensated for medical treatment, lost wages, and other benefits. Question 29. Claims adjusting and risk management. An insurance company decides to introduce a new policy that excludes flood coverage. How should the adjuster address claims related to flood damage under this new policy? A. Deny all claims related to flooding without exception. B. Accept the claims but reduce the payout based on flood damage exclusions. C. Communicate the new exclusion to all policyholders and deny flood-related claims accordingly. D. Offer to adjust the claims without mentioning the flood exclusion to avoid customer dissatisfaction. Answer. C. Communicate the new exclusion to all policyholders and deny flood-related claims accordingly. Explanation. Insurance policies with exclusions must clearly communicate those exclusions to policyholders. If flood damage is excluded, the adjuster must inform the claimant of the exclusion and deny claims accordingly. Full disclosure and transparency are crucial to maintaining compliance with legal standards and protecting the integrity of the claims process. Question 30. Mathematics and calculations for adjusters. A homeowner's policy covers a dwelling with a replacement cost of $250,000 and a deductible of $5,000. If the damage to the home is assessed at $40,000, what is the total payout from the insurance company? A. $35,000. B. $40,000. C. $45,000. D. $250,000. Answer A. $35,000. Explanation. To calculate the payout, subtract the deductible from the total damage amount. In this case, pay equals 40,000. 5 versus equals 35,000. The insurance company will pay $35,000 after the deductible is applied.